The phone rang while I was watching the tide erase footprints below my balcony. One ring, then another, then silence. A message followed. "They're using your room number again." I didn't move. The glass in my hand stayed perfectly still. Expensive champagne leaves a particular sound when it's poured. Soft, arrogant, wasteful. I could hear it in my head, even from here, even from miles away. I imagined them laughing, bare feet on hotel marble, ordering bottles they couldn't pronounce, signing my name with a confidence that had never belonged to them. Another vibration, another message. Security is asking questions. I watched a couple argue by the shoreline. He gestured wildly, she crossed her arms, a familiar choreography. I had lived inside that dance for years. The phone rang again. I let it ring. When I finally answered, the manager's voice was polite, tight with restraint. He explained the situation slowly, as if I might interrupt him, as if I might defend them. "They claim they're your family." I smiled. "They are," I said, "but they're not my guests." Silence bloomed on the line. I took a sip. The champagne was cold. Earned. "Call the police," I said, "and send me the bill." It hadn't started with money. That was the lie I told myself for a long time. It started with Thanksgiving. "If you want to join," my daughter-in-law shouted over the phone, "come wash the dishes." Not joking, not laughing, commanding. I remembered the way my jaw locked, the way my son didn't say a word in the background. Silence has weight. That was when I felt it settle. I said one word, "Enjoy." Then I booked a flight. Switzerland was quiet in a way that exposes you. Mountains don't care who raised you, who you sacrificed for, who learned to take without asking. The villa I rented was obscene. Glass walls, heated stone, a view that demanded respect. I posted nothing. I told no one. They found out anyway. Photos surfaced. Someone tagged a location. Someone showed someone else. Greed travels faster than love. My phone rang 71 times that night. Missed calls, voicemails, apologies stacked on demands, stacked on entitlement. I didn't listen. I remembered birthdays forgotten, favors expected, the way my daughter-in-law spoke to me like staff, the way my son let her. A partnership built on convenience and my silence. That silence had been mistaken for permission. I started reviewing records the way a surgeon reviews scans. Calm, precise, detached. Hotel statements, prior stays, charges that weren't mine, room numbers used like keys to a kingdom they hadn't built. I pulled phone logs, messages deleted but not erased, screenshots forwarded by staff who had noticed patterns long before I did. I watched. I waited. At dinner parties back home, they smiled too much, asked too many questions about my plans. My daughter-in-law touched my arm when she spoke, a gesture meant to soften, to claim. Inside, I counted exits. I learned about the beachside hotel they favored, learned how often they pretended to be me, learned which managers still believed their stories. I booked the same hotel, different wing, higher floor. I watched from behind glass as they arrived, the way she strutted, the way my son followed, shoulders already curved. They ordered champagne, 3 bottles, charged it to my room. Again, I didn't intervene. I wanted the moment to ripen. The knock came at their door just after sunset. I didn't see it. I heard it. Raised voices drift upward. Her sharp panic, his pleading confusion. Security first, then police. The manager's patience finally empty. Trespassing, fraud, theft. Words land differently when they're spoken by uniforms. I stepped onto the balcony as they were led across the sand, barefoot, hands restrained, cameras flashing from curious tourists who didn't know them and never would again. She looked up. Our eyes met. I lifted my glass. She screamed my name. My son broke, begged, hands shaking, mouth open, a child again. I waved, just once. Later, from the quiet of my villa, I returned the calls, one by one. Not to argue, not to explain, to document. I forwarded charges, police reports, screenshots of her messages ordering champagne on Dad's tab. I CC'd lawyers, accountants, a family group chat that had always excluded me. I sent one final message to her. You mistook access for ownership. She replied with paragraphs, rage, fear, bargaining. I blocked her. My son called last. His voice cracked. Apologies poured out, too late, too rehearsed. I didn't know how to stop her, he said. I believed him. That didn't matter. You watched, I said. That was enough. I hung up before he could ask for mercy.
The mountains looked the same the next morning, indifferent, unmoved. I paid the final invoice without flinching, not for them, for myself. Clean lines, no loose ends. I poured the last of the champagne into the sink and rinsed the glass. Excess is only satisfying when it's chosen. They would tell stories about me now. Cold, cruel, unforgiving. Let 'em. I didn't crush them with anger. I let the truth do it quietly. And when my phone finally stopped ringing, the silence